What's good, my man of society? It is your host with the most, Shadow Loke, back at you with another video. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It's absolutely free. That is how you help my channel get into the algorithm. Highly appreciate if you go ahead and do that. Now, what I wanted to discuss, but before we get into it, just want to make it clear, I am not a Republican, I am not a Democrat, I'm not a liberal, and I'm not a conservative. To me, all the politics is full of shit. They're all the same, you know what I mean? Different wings, same bird. So I feel like they're not in it for the people. This is a power struggle between two political parties. So this is not about the people. This is a battle over power to see, who can dominate, whether it be in the Republicans or the Democrats. That's why I'm not down with the politics, right? Now, that doesn't mean that I don't care for the politics, right? Because obviously, if we want this country to succeed and, improve, we have to do our part. The way I work, though, is that I can think for myself. I don't need people to tell me what to believe in, right? So if the Republicans come with some good ideas, then I'll side with the Republicans' ideas. If the Democrats come with some good ideas, then I'll side with the Democrats. Depending on if the ideas work good for the people, not for the political party. You get me? So I'm not obligated to give my loyalty to neither side, because this is about America, not about political parties. It's about bettering our country, not bettering our political group. You get what I'm saying? Now, if there's one thing I have been seeing with the whole LA riots going down and everything, and yes, I live in the area, right? So I get to see it firsthand of everything that's happening. If there's one thing that I have seen a lot of Republicans like to, spin out there, and a lot of people that support Trump, the narrative that they like to spin is that you see how the Democrats behave. They don't know how to behave. The Democratic states don't know how to run their states, right? They let their people do whatever the fuck they want. It's anarchist and chaos and yada, yada, yada. Acting like when the Republicans don't get what they want, they don't do the very exact same thing, right? Now, keep in mind, the people that these people call as, the Democratic slaves, right? These people that are rioting out there, right? They don't know how to behave. This is what happens when, they think they can do whatever they want, and the woke movement and blah, 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 blah. But, I don't see none of them out there with AR-15s and fucking assault rifles and shotguns and 9mm and 45s, storming down a federal building, running into a federal building, keeping government officials hostage, right? Police officers losing their lives, them destroying property and vandalizing and all of that. Imagine if these individuals were to be out there in military gear and assault weaponry, bulletproof vests and, vests that can hold multiple clips and everything. And these are all, MAGA, Trump supporters. You see the Trump flag, you see the MAGA hats and, Trump, right? Assaulting police officers. But they don't do that. They respect government buildings. They respect government property. They respect government officials. They respect our law enforcement. Really? No, so far no law enforcement has lost their lives right now in these riots, but police officers lost their lives right here in these. Storming down, Capitol Hill. Oh, but they forgot that had happened, right? Or let's leave that to the past, or let's not bring that up, or, oh, we're past that, or that didn't happen, it was a conspiracy or AI. But the facts are that these individuals are the exact same way when they don't get what they want, right? And if anything, may I say, even take it beyond that, right? Because these individuals haven't stormed down the federal building and took, government officials hostages. And no police officers have lost their lives in these ones, right? And they're not out there with assault rifles. So before people want to, act like if their closets, don't have skeletons in them, come on now, let's be real. Now, one other thing that the narrative that Republicans try to spin is that these people don't know how to protest, and that all they are is criminals, and all they want to do is cause, chaos, break buildings, and rob and everything like that. Now, let's not mistake the looters and the crazed individuals that are out there for the people that are actually protesting the injustice and protesting the right way. Of course, anytime you have any type of gathering and group, the potential chance of some bad apples being in that group that are just looking to take advantage of the situation is always going to happen. But that doesn't mean that is a sheer reason for these rallies, or the majority of the rally was because to do this, or that all these individuals are just bad people that are looking to cause chaos, when that's not true. Sure, you'll have some bad apples in there. Of course, you'll have some individuals that get out of hand and make the situation get out of control. We can say that for every group, even when the MAGA does their rallies, you see individuals that do that, right? But to say that that's the reason for that is retarded in itself, right? There's individuals that are looking just to do good, right? That are looking to protest the right way and that are looking to get their voices heard and across by doing it the legal way within their rights, because I see people saying, why do they have to protest? What's within their rights? Freedom of speech, bro. It's within their rights to protest, bro. That's what makes America great. Just like if you guys, there's something that you guys don't like, you guys have the right to protest as well. You know what I'm saying? Now, like I said, but that doesn't mean that these individuals are just bad people that are looking to create chaos, right? Or don't respect the law or don't respect the government or the police officers and etc. Because that's ignorant, right? That's just looking to paint all these people bad, by pushing this kind of narrative and propaganda. No better than the mainstream media or no better than the individuals that don't understand the scenarios themselves, right? Like Trump, like I said, he likes to talk a good one. He should have sent the National Guard right there and when they were doing all this. But right there, he's seen nothing bad, right? Right there, he's seen that it's not a big deal. It's not as bad as people say that it was. And instead of, right, making excuses for these individuals, yeah, because they were your supporters, because there were people that were down with you. That's why. And that's the reason why the Republicans didn't make a big deal, because, yes, these are your people. That's why it was swept under the rug as the way it was. Or at least they tried. But now when the shoe's on the other foot, they want to say this and that. And because, Donald Trump knows what he's doing, because I even played the video on my last video where I said that he knows that sending the National Guard was against the law, right? If it's not requested by the governor, which in this case it wasn't, yet he still sent them, breaking the law, right? But none of his side, none of the Republicans say nothing about that, right? And like I said, it's sad that I even have to come and it kind of makes it seem like I'm defending the Democrats when I don't even like them individuals either. I don't even like Gavin Newsom. Mayor Bass, she's all right. She's pretty cool, so far from what I have seen, right? But Gavin Newsom is whack, bro. So I don't even like these individuals. The fact that it makes it seem like I'm defending them is crazy in itself. Right? But just to let you know that where we're at now, right? Because, I could understand when they say get these illegals out of here, right? These criminals, these drug dealers and everything like these people want, right? But now people are saying that, these ICE individuals, we stand with ICE and ICE is the best and ICE is, this and that. And it's like, well, they're targeting people that are not criminals and stuff like that, right? And it's like, it doesn't matter. All these illegals are acting like if illegals haven't been a part of what made America great, what didn't build this country, right? It was built off of immigrants, right? Acting like if these individuals don't do good, right? Like if there's not a lot of hardworking individuals out there that are just looking to pay their bills, pay their rents and spend the money here in America. The money gets spent here in America, right? So it's not disappearing like these people claim that it is, right? You're crippling your economy, by getting rid of the actual working individuals. You're really crippling the economy. That's what you're really doing, right? And to prove what point? To prove what? To what? Just because they're trying to paint all these individuals as criminals, other ones that are deported, that they're all murderers, they're bad people, when they're not all bad people. A majority of the ones that they're taking right now are not bad people at all. See, when they round up all these gang members or these MS-13 guys or these other, criminals from different criminal organizations from different parts of the world, and they're deported, how many times have you seen people out there rallying and protesting for them? None, right? Because, yes, these individuals are like, yeah, get these criminals out of here. They got no problem with that. But once they start picking on destroying families and hardworking citizens, then it becomes issues. Can you blame them? So when they're just trying to say that these people are defending criminals and murderers and rapists, and they like to highlight those individuals. They like to highlight these, type of criminals that they got, right? Cherry picking. We can cherry pick on the Republican side as well of bad people that they have, that are supporters, right? Groups like the Wizards or the KKK or the white supremacist groups that are Trump supporters and MAGA supporters, right? Showing that the racist rhetoric resonates with them, right? Whatever Trump is saying, obviously these individuals, it's not a shock that all the racist groups that are in America, right, are all Trump supporters. Not a coincidence. There's a reason for that. You get what I mean? So we can cherry pick as well, right? But to say that all Trump supporters are racist, that would be stupid too, right? To say that kind of shit. But that's what these Republicans like to do when it comes to these individuals, cherry pick and try to paint them all the same. That all the people that are deporting right now are criminals, rapists, gangsters, and bad people. When that's not true, you're full of shit for trying to spin that narrative. The fact that you have to lie to get your message across should already show that where you stand on no merit. You get what I mean? Trying to push, lies, to fuel the propaganda. And then try to call yourself legit and that you care for your country. When you gotta lie in order to get your point across. You get what I'm saying? It's ridiculous what these individuals try to do. Because like I said, they're not all bad people. And like I said, this whole country was built off of the sweat and back off of immigrants. They have done great for this country. This country wouldn't be as great as it is without these individuals. These individuals make the country great. Not all of them. There is some bad apples in everything in life. Even in religion, there's been bad priests. Does it mean they're all child molesters? No, right? There's been crooked police officers. Does that mean they're all crooked? There's been homicidal doctors. Does it mean all doctors are homicidal? No, right? But you do have bad, apples in everything. But to try to paint this whole entire group like that narrative is ridiculous in itself. And you should be ashamed of yourself. And these are questions that these, Republicans don't answer, right? They like to bring up all the bullshit. Well, you guys did it to Biden and Biden. Why do you guys keep bringing up Biden? Fuck Biden, right? That shit's long over that way. Biden's times are over, bro. It's the future now. Why y'all keep bringing up Biden for? Trump keeps bringing up Biden. It's like, bro, you still haven't let that shit go? Bro, let's move on to the future. Fuck Biden. Yes, no one liked them. Yeah, we're all over it already. You're the only one keeping him relevant. Always bringing his ass up. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the only way they can make themselves look good. Because they can't stand, obviously, on their own shit that they do. Because what is that? Nothing. Right? It said breaking up families right before Father's Day, too. Like, no shame. It's crazy. And it's done on purpose, right? The distraction from all the, true problems that are, hitting America, like us losing all those jobs, 180,000, right? That big, beautiful bill, being, a bill that's already in question. The whole Elon Musk fiasco. There's a great distraction, though. But they don't want to talk about that. They don't want to bring up that. What about all those jobs that have been lost? Manufacturing jobs. 108,000. Oh, when Biden was on office, they're like, no, yes, no one's defending Biden. Why do you keep bringing up Biden? No one's defending Biden. Yeah, fuck Biden, bro. He was a horrible president, too. We're talking about now, about Trump. Stop bringing up Biden to try to make yourself, deflect. Now, we're asking you a question about your president. Not about Biden. Biden sucked. We all know that. Fuck Biden and Kamala. But we're talking about you guys now. But they won't answer that. Because they don't got an answer for it, bro. But overall, that's just my opinion. What are your thoughts? Leave it in the comments and shout out. We up.